Tonight, we finally get that Iris and Marley showdown. Harry is drunk off that dark matter, and we lose not one, but two superheroes. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Can you show them the dance, Zach? Yeah. Get it. Get it. Zach picked our song tonight. Do you want to explain why?
Yes. Ralph should have just stayed, what was it, nice for what? Like,
yeah.
Like, why? Just stick with, you know, what you were going for, man. Just kill DeVoe. But he went nice. For what reason? Look what happened.
Goodness. The last metas have finally been found, killed, and absorbed.
Absorbed.
Yeah. Before we get into our, initial thoughts of the whole episode, I am Drew Jones. I am here with my amazing panel. I have Miss Chauncey.
Hey, y'all.
And I have my homeboy, Zach. How are you guys doing tonight?
What's up?
I got a lot of mixed feelings about the episode.
Mixed feelings. I got one feeling. Amazing episode.
I mean, it was amazing, but I'm talking
it.
about like the plot lines. I was very, I'm a little conflicted.
Yeah, there's a couple twists that I was like, was that necessary? No. But hopefully it comes around, I guess. It comes all together and
Comes full circle.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, but let's get into it. So, we meet our final meta, Edwin Gauss.
Edwin Gauss.
Who is kind of like Cheech and Chong knockoff.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
He was a hippie from the comics.
Yeah, you said these are from the comics.
Yeah, it was very interesting.
Was he like that in the comics too?
No, not at all, actually.
Not.
In the comics, he was a supervillain. And he was called Folded Man. He was definitely called Folded Man, but he was actually a supervillain who was like originally like wanting to solve one of Einstein's biggest problems and things like that. So it was interesting that they went this route with him in terms of not being a villain at all and just kind of some high hippie most of the time.
So how do we feel about his powers? Because I really like how like the metas, it ties into kind of their personality, like whatever power they have. Like he's an off the grid type of dude, so pocket dimensions.
Yeah.
It's like
It's cool. It was a little close to Cisco.
Yeah.
That was like my first reaction. I was just like, so is he a breacher? Because I mean, initially we had the pocket dimension because of the DeVoe's chair, and that was something that we thought maybe he created because of his smartness. But now we have somebody else who can do that, and not only can do that, can like do multiple pocket dimensions.
Yeah, he kind of looked like a stoned out older Cisco.
Did he?
A little bit. Maybe. Like he gave me those vibes. Like if Cisco had no real goals and gained a couple pounds and just had nothing going on.
What was it, like a little goatee thing he had going
then
on
maybe
there?
that is what would go down.
I think, I got Cisco vibes from him in the sense of like his powers at first, and then I did have to look it up, like the idea of, Cisco vibes, but the thing with Folded Man is that he can be 2 or 4 dimensional at the same exact time. So it's a little bit more...
Two or 4 dimensions?
Like, I don't know what. 4 dimensional, like existing in 4 places or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I think the pocket dimension is the 4th dimension.
4th dimension. But
Yeah,
they were saying, they were explaining, like I tried to look up like because if you don't like know the exact thing about his powers, it does seem like he basically can just vibe to different places that maybe Cisco can't get to.
Yeah.
But I think it's a little bit more... maybe we'll see a few other, like, just like tonight with DeVoe having different tricks that he learned from the other metas, like the gravity thing with Janet. Maybe we'll see a little bit more than just being able to go from a different place to another with him. But it seems like it's a bit more complex than Cisco's vibing.
Yeah, speaking of things that are complex, we kind of were worried about Harry and the thinking cap from the get-go, and now we're really seeing it become an addiction, as Joe puts it.
Yeah, I like the connection between him and his late wife, and how like affected it was by him, like that little speech that he had going on with it, and he's like, look, I'm standing up for you right now, like you have to be the one to like overcome this. What are you gonna do? And of course he chose the wrong path.
Yeah.
Boo to Harry.
I mean, I feel like I did like the reference with Francine. I felt like he did what he thought he needed to do in the sense of, this was a kind of a hopeless situation. And I tend to have a little bit more of a gray area with comic book characters, as we can talk about with the whole killing of DeVoe thing. Mm-hmm. But I feel like he did what he thought he could do. But did I miss something in the fact that he passed out and then next
No, they just skipped right over
that. So I don't know what happened.
I thought maybe they were going to be like, hey, where's Harry? Like when Caitlin was like, somebody will get him, but he was just
I thought he was going to come out all silver like Watchmen or something.
Yeah. Well, like at the end of the episode, we see he's like not there, and like Cisco keeps having to be like focus. Yeah. He's almost like like
his brain got fried or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there. That was a little weird.
Well, we did get something from DeVoe saying that he stole the dark matter, so maybe he replaced it with something in the intermediate of like before Harry got to put it on and like messed with his brain or something.
Yeah. Or I mean, DeVoe couldn't handle it in his body, and that's why he had to keep switching bodies. So the fact that Harry is trying to put all of this in his own brain and compete with it, like obviously his body's not going to be able to handle it
that
either.
Or also just the fact that DeVoe, he said he's a copycat or something, thinking cap. It was like a knockoff copycat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I
mean, DeVoe is planning like light years ahead. Maybe this is just part of the plan to like incapacitate is that the right word? To knock out Harry, so like he won't be like a foe for him to like compete with, like making good plans. So maybe he like implanted the idea to make a thinking cap for Harry so that Harry would mess his own self up.
Yeah, because we're seeing DeVoe kind of take people out based off of like their weaknesses or like even their growth. Because I mean, even with like Ralph, Ralph spared him, and obviously we see that doesn't work out for Ralph. But it's because Ralph, like even though Ralph initially wanted to kill DeVoe, like we've seen his growth be his weakness almost. And then with Harry, his ego is.
It's hubris, as like DeVoe said.
Yeah.
It's hubris.
So it's very.
But in the past, that's where it has worked for Team Flash, where Harry would be able to, like, because he is so smart, use that to his advantage. But now, like you said, DeVoe's just like playing at everyone's weaknesses.
Yeah, and it was one of those things where once again it was like, DeVoe's all like, I knew that Harry's hubris would do it, and the same thing that's going to break down Team Flash would be the thing to the alignment. And it's just like, once again, I don't know, it goes into like my mixed feelings. I kind of felt a sense of hopelessness in watching this again. I was just like, towards the end, I was just like, yeah, something's gonna happen, but it just seemed really hopeless with everything that happened. And I'm just like, how do you, because it's one thing when bad stuff happens, it's another thing when you're just like, okay, it just seems like everything
it's an onslaught
they do.
of bad things happening over.
And it's like nothing they can do can change the course of anything because he's thought of everything. And there's a certain moment where you're just like, is this even compelling anymore?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of, like, I agree with that, but then I kind of disagree with that because I feel like we saw Iris kick ass first of all. And I feel like it kind of foreshadows the fact that Marlise and Iris are going to be really what makes or breaks like which side wins. And so I feel like Marlise is like the, loose screw in the machine for DeVoe, and I think that's where they're going to be able to get DeVoe.
See, I thought it was going to be Ralph. He kind of was the loose screw for a little while, but I don't know, maybe just played right into everything.
And what about the thing about spontaneity that they really bigged up last episode, that it was going to be his spontaneity that changed everything.
And then we go right back to the plan.
And it's just like, okay, and here's the plan. And yeah, he had the thing inside of him or some kind of replica of it or whatever to be able to do DeVoe, but he didn't do his spontaneity thing of like actually going against Barry and killing this guy. So it's like, why was there such talk about his spontaneity last episode if there was nothing spontaneity?
I feel like sometimes like the show does like what comic books do with like a one-off. It's just a one-off little booklet of like one episode that really doesn't lead into anything. It was just there just to have. So maybe that episode was just like filler episode there just to be there.
Maybe.
I mean, what I wrote down, which is like every single episode, we get so many different colors and flares of Ralph. It's just like, it's nice to kind of see sometimes, but it's almost like he's got a colorful spectrum of emotions. It's just I need him to pick one almost. Like he's moody one episode, he's heroistic one episode, and then this one, I can't describe how he was, but it turned around. Like at first we saw like how he was like I thought he was gonna play the afraid card again, but then we had that nice little speech with him and Barry after he got knocked out. He's like, I do not want to lose my family. You know,
I knew he was gonna die as soon as he said that.
Yeah, it's.
But I thought it would be more heroic.
Red flag.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it was like, okay, that's what's gonna happen.
Was
He's
heroic.
gonna.
Are you
But
kidding
was
me?
it?
He was accepting of what was happening.
What I will say that killed me was when Barry was stuck to the ground and he was like,
I will save you. I'm coming for you.
And Ralph said, you already did. I was like,
in every way, yeah. Because he had that nice little speech right before that where he's like, I can rise to be a bigger man.
Yeah.
And like I deserve it now. And what else does he get? It's fucking zapped.
I don't think we're done. I don't think we're done with Ralph. I think I think something's gonna happen.
I mean, yeah, but it's just, I mean, once again, it goes back to my thing about the hopelessness. It was like, you already have, okay, that's great. Maybe Ralph would have died earlier in life from a heart attack or something like that had he had not, become a meta and got to grow as a human being and experience so many things in such a short time. But he still died.
Remember when the writers told us this season was going to be lighthearted after last season? This is definitely way darker than last season.
They had Barry pouring out some Henny for his fallen
One time
friend, for my homie, drinking out in the silhouette. I'm like, yo, where are the jokes?
Hey, that was a beautiful shot, by the way.
It was.
That
It was a
was.
very beautiful
That was
shot. Very beautiful
amazing.
silhouette. But it was beautiful, but it was also, once again, like, wow. Like, they keep losing.
Yeah.
That's the thing that's getting to me. They keep losing. I mean, maybe that's going to make it so the end is a great payoff or something.
I'm hoping so. It better,
But
when you keep going down this road, it just means that the payoff has to be that much better.
Yeah.
And I don't know how they're going to do that.
I think they're going to start getting desperate, and with desperation comes spontaneity.
Yeah.
Spontaneity. I don't know words.
Spontaneity. What's on your mind?
So I feel like I don't know. I have hope. I do hate that it's just been so like loss after loss after loss, and like there's just been no. I mean, I guess that's why we got Ralph as such a cornball, because they needed to have some lighthearted stuff, because otherwise this would have just been the most depressing season ever.
Oh my god, yeah.
But
And I think that was a little bit of the weirdness of it, because they built up his character in the sense, like, Zachary was just saying, like, he went back and forth, but he was also growing, like you were saying, Drew. But I also feel like they shoehorned him in so much at times, and there were so many Ralph-centric episodes that even though, and this is my another conflicting feeling I have, is like, I kept saying, like, okay, we got another Ralph-centric episode, okay, fine. But then it's like, okay, you made me invest in this character, and then this happened. So I'm like, there has to be some kind of difference, but I'm also like, I hate emotional manipulation when it comes to storylines. It's like, if it works with the narrative, that's fine, but don't do something specifically so you can like stab me in the heart.
Yeah.
And make it so it resonates or something. I think that's contrived storytelling.
Well,
I don't like that.
Well, it's like this whole Caitlin Killer Frost plotline. You give us this cute thing where they're like communicating with each other,
With the notes,
leaving
yeah.
each other notes,
And then they just like stab you. There's a lot
right?
of stabbing
So
this episode.
anticlimactic. Like, just it's done, and you don't have. She's not there anymore.
And we hadn't even been talking about this conflict of Killer Frost, to the point where I think we were saying, like, I guess that's just how it's going to be. They're
writers
going
are
to
just,
coexist.
like, wanting to write her out.
I feel like they just have a list of the characters, and they're like going down the. Oh wait, guys, we haven't talked about Killer Frost in a second. What do? We just kill her. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
because we had the same thing with Joe happen like the past few episodes, and we put it like, oh, how are we gonna include Joe? Oh, let's bring up his dead ex-wife.
Yeah,
like
where's Cecile?
why? Like, yeah, where's Cecile?
Where's
your
her
pregnant
Cecile
wife? Oh
and
my
reading
god.
minds?
Cecile is off being pregnant, guys.
And reading minds. Like, how did that? What's
going to
on?
happen? She's going to go into labor probably in the season finale or something.
It's just.
I don't even know how far along she is. Yeah, it was just one of those things too. Like, we hadn't really talked about the conflict of Killer Frost. It got to the point where maybe there wasn't a conflict, and then suddenly she's gone.
This
And that
whole
was so
season
sad
started
for
off with
Caitlyn.
that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was
that's-
so sad for Caitlyn. She lost her bestie.
It's also just kind of frustrating because at this point, it's like Team Flash, the core Team Flash, is going to be fine. Like, when Joe was going against the Samurai, I was like, he's fine. When Caitlyn was going, not Caitlyn, when Iris was going against Marlize, I was like, she's going to be fine. Because, like, if you're core Team Flash, nothing really happens. Killer Frost technically isn't core Team Flash, Caitlyn is. So I wasn't worried about anything happening to Caitlyn. So it's almost like that's their way of, like, getting us with Team Flash, is getting rid of the two who aren't really
Red
super tied
shirts.
in.
They were total Star Trek red shirts, which we had a reference to tonight. Star Trek reference
we
with
have
Cisco.
a lot of references
and maybe
tonight.
that was the sign. Maybe like, hey, Star Trek, there's gonna be some red shirts dying today.
I like that. This season has had a ton of pop culture references. We had a Thor. We had a
Thor,
Die
Son
Hard
of
with
Odin.
McLean reference in it.
The Dusk Till Dawn reference. Wait, this episode, or are you talking
This
about the
episode,
season?
I'm just talking
Oh.
this season, but this episode there was like the Star Trek.
Yeah.
They said something about Thor. Tons of crazy like. I liked it. It's fun. It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just it was one of those things where it's like, but I agree with you about Team Flash, core Team Flash, but I also kind of don't, because I feel like they've been hinting at the idea of like that was all that murmur about Cisco possibly leaving,
yeah.
and I feel like I do worry about Joe often.
I
to
worry
be
about Joe
honest.
because they've like kind of.
Yeah.
But in this particular episode, I wasn't particularly worried.
I
about
didn't think
him.
it was anything was going to happen this particular episode with them, but I don't think they're all like clear out of the water. I mean, yeah, I mean, they might even kill Harry again, but we always know there's like 5 to 20 other Harrys, so that doesn't really count. But who knows? Maybe they'd kill off one of the
Harry's
Ciscos
like
and then
Doctor
another.
Who, a little
exactly.
bit.
So yeah, that's a good reference.
Black Magic, Black
like
Magic
it.
number 9 in the chat made a good point. How did all of Team Flash in episode 1? It took all of Team Flash in episode 1 to kill the samurai, and now all of a sudden Joe can just like, just.
Because Joe was on Law and Order SVU.
Oh, so he all of a sudden knows how to use a sword.
He did take the sword. I mean, let's give it up for the non-meta people,
Yeah.
because they were the only two. Iris and Joe were the only two that actually beat. Well, Ralph beat the T-Rex,
Yeah.
but then he got killed, so that didn't count.
Yeah.
But like, they were the only two They were the only two, and they were non-metas that took out the person.
Iris did that crazy B-word laugh, like when you should feel if a girl ever laughs at you like Iris did to Marlise, you're in
Watch
trouble.
out. She's like, you want to know what I'm gonna do? Like Marlise looks so thrown
Yeah.
off. She's like, yo, what? Did you just stab
She
yourself?
said, ha ha.
Like, you don't understand Team Flash.
I'm crazy.
We are the Flash.
I go hard for my man.
That was a really stupid move to do.
That was awesome.
I'm sorry.
What are you talking about?
Oh, let me take a sword that's electrified, more than just a sword, and stab myself near, like, there's a lot going on over here, arteries and whatnot. Like, it's the heart's here, I get it, but still, there's a lot going on that you could, like, really screw yourself up. Why did both people...
she had to get to the button. That was a boss move.
It was a boss move. It was very Kill Billish. I loved the whole scene, the
Yes.
fighting. Where does...
You don't come between a woman and her man.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because here's the thing, Marlise came for Iris's throat.
Right?
She said, you and your little boyfriend real cute, but
She's all like, my love is greater. And I was like, no.
Iris said, not today, Satan. I'm gonna stab myself real quick.
I'll show you how crazy love is.
Can we talk about Iris's bomb?
Right?
earring? I was like,
let's sell those.
that is the epitome of like black girl taking off her earrings, ready to go.
Was that an earring, or I thought it was her earpiece that she always talks to Team Flash in.
No, it was an earring. It was like a little jewel, and it had like the gold, because it like they showed it when it landed on the door, and it looked like a little like just stud.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
I want a pair in every color.
You know what was also interesting to me, speaking of people getting stabbed, with Caitlyn, how she was able to heal really quickly because of Killer Frost.
Yeah.
You know, she was like, oh, Barry's like, oh, you frosted out. And she's like, yeah, that must have been like why. And she was just like so ready to go afterwards. And that seemed a little weird to me that she was like, Ralph was like, don't you want to rest? She was like, no, I'm just like even more determined. And it was like,
It's more of a blending of like Killer Frost and Caitlyn together.
Yeah.
Which is cool, which I would hope to see more of. But
I don't feel like Killer Frost. I feel like Caitlyn's gonna go on a search to get Killer Frost back.
Well, the thing is, didn't DeVoe just use the powers to entangle? So like technically, Killer Frost is sitting with DeVoe somewhere. Like do you remember how the powers worked? Like if he didn't transfer it to somebody else, it stays stasis within the guy, whatever his name was. I forgot the.
Maybe for some reason. Because Killer Frost is like an alter ego, it's almost like a different person completely. Maybe for some reason, like, when he absorbs Meta's powers, like, he absorbs them.
Too?
I think he absorbed her. Like, I think the DNA was different for some reason with Caitlyn and Killer Frost were like, instead of her dying or whatever, he just absorbed Killer Frost, whereas other metas have just like died when he absorbed them. Maybe. I don't know.
Which I'm hoping is not a final thing. That's another thing. This body count this season has been so high.
I had a question about that.
It just seems so like, I mean, I'm not saying they're doing it flippantly, but it was like when like Ralph comes back and all of them are laying on the ground. I'm like, wow.
That's what I wrote. I was like, so there's 3 or 4 dead bodies. Like, what are they going to do with all those bodies? Because we haven't seen what they've done with the bodies prior, right?
Probably burn them.
No. What if?
Not that I'm saying that's what someone should do.
I feel like maybe they should keep the bodies and
in case there is some way of revival.
Put the minds
I'm sure
back
we're
into
probably, if there is a possibility of revival, I'm sure that someone on Team Flash is keeping them in the vast amount of space that
they might have to have. That actually makes sense, because how else would they be able to explain these people randomly showing up dead, right? That they should be.
They're just missing. Well, a lot of them had gone into hiding too, so it's
true.
Not,
Yeah, I do. That's what I'm saying. Like, I hope maybe they're keeping them in stasis somewhere, and then they can all like return, their souls or something can return to their body. But then again, that brings up the question of souls and the idea of Killer Frost. Like, you kill Killer Frost, but was Killer Frost her own entity this whole time? Because they kind of switched that up before, right? Like before, she switched to someone else. Caitlyn switched to someone else, and she was just like Caitlyn but bad. Mm-hmm. And then like this season, and I think it was twisted for the sake of this plot, but like for this season, Killer Frost became her own kind of separate personality. Yeah. So
I think that's just the way that the writers wanted to show it to us, because at the end of the day, I think it's really just a split personality thing. It's still one person, but like I get what you're saying, but I don't think it's like a separate person in itself. I think it's still just Caitlyn, fractured mind. Like whatever she was afraid of, whatever she couldn't handle, Killer Frost would come out of that and able to, lead.
Well, like she says, it's like her it's fight or flight mode that triggers Killer Frost.
Right, and she uses the adrenaline to go. Yeah. Right, so.
I wouldn't be mad if they ended up, if somehow Killer Frost becomes her own entity and becomes like her own body.
I would, because that's taking away from who Caitlyn is, because those parts of Caitlyn are still there, and we see parts of those. Like, the only reason why Caitlyn was ready, the only reason why she was ready was like, yeah, let's go after him, and Ralph was like, oh, shouldn't you rest? Like, that is her. Yeah. But we see it as Killer Frost, but that's her way of showing, like, this is where it gets really confusing. It's like the whole Fight Club thing, you know, where what's-his-face couldn't handle certain things, so he had Brad Pitt do it instead, but it's really still him. And that's what Caitlyn Frost is to what Killer Frost is to Caitlyn.
You broke the number one rule of Fight Club.
I didn't talk about it. Come on.
You kind of talked about it.
All right, no one heard me say that.
But I think no, that's not their name. The superheroes that combined together, they were killed.
Firestorm.
Firestorm, that's what I thought. Okay. Firestorm, I mean, they're their own separate things, but then come together and they still have a plot line. So I don't think it would necessarily take away.
No, it wouldn't take away. I just wouldn't like it because Caitlyn is one person, whereas they were two.
You also didn't like Wally West, and that was wrong as well.
You know what?
Do you miss him?
No. Oh. But I don't know if this was... I saw a lot of references to the comic book of The Flash, which is cool. And sometimes they blend the comics. And this totally could just be me theorizing this. But in the comic books, Wally West, New 52, always runs off and doesn't deal with his own problems. Like, what we initially see is, like, if something bad happens, he... Instead of, like, having those little talks that, like, the Team Flash always has, he just runs off. And that's kind of what happened to Barry tonight. When, like, Ralph died, it was so much for him, he just had to run off and deal with it on his own, which is a cool little throwback. I think might have been, like, a throwback to the comics. I don't know. I could be just, like, speculating. But for all you Flash fans, you know, it's cool to see those things.
Jaw feel.
All right. What else?
I know, I'm trying to, like...
Well, we kind of, like, jumped around a lot.
Yeah.
We had... I was really digging the beginning of the episode where we had the feel of, like, Ralph and Barry actually becoming, like, detectives.
Yeah.
Having that feel for them. It was cool because we're on the bus and they pull out some cool gadgets that Cisco whipped up for them, and it's totally, like, out of a detective novel. And we have that great conversation between Barry and Ralph about, no, we don't kill. Like, I don't kill people. We always can find a different, like, a way. There is always a way.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I was going to say, first of all,
Because our team, sometimes you have to kill
Yeah,
DeVoe.
I'm team sometimes. Because this is what bothers me about Barry.
About Barry.
We have seen where, you know, people have died, people that we care about or should care about die because Barry's not willing to do what needs to be done. And then, like, sure, they get the bad guy at the end of the day, but now you're down a person. So I'm just kind of like, I don't know, like, maybe we should review the rules, like, try not to kill, but if you have to, then let's do it. Also, didn't Barry's killed?
Yeah.
Who's he killed?
Don't ask me that. I'm having a...
I think there was a thing, like, he did, but I don't know if it was...
In the comics, he killed once. Okay, in the comics, he thought he killed Godspeed.
Yeah.
But it turns out Godspeed was still alive.
Yeah, because that was the trial of the Flash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
because he actually did kill someone.
No, yeah, the whole
in the
thing,
comics.
yeah, in the comic, the whole like shtick about Barry in the comics is that he never kills, and he always is preaching that to people. And I'm almost certain he doesn't kill anybody in the comics, which is cool that they brought that up in this episode, which I think he's mentioned before, but so much more in this episode because the easy thing to do is just to kill. It's just like, but then what sets you apart from being like that hero compared to who DeVoe is? Because DeVoe is initially trying to make the world a better place.
I think it kind of goes into that whole, like, it's like the greater good, though. Like, all of these metas essentially could have, I mean, like, hypothetically speaking, if Barry would have just gotten DeVoe done with episodes ago, all these metas would be alive. You know, like, it's just kind of like, yeah, cool, like, you're on... I just don't feel like being a superhero is black and white. I think it's a gray area, and Barry very much tries to stay in the white area.
Yeah, because he doesn't want to lose himself.
Yeah.
You know, and I get that.
We've
That's the whole
seen him
question
lose
of the
himself
thing.
as well. Like, we've seen what happened to Barry if he goes down that road. You know, was it last season with Savitar?
Yeah.
Himself. You know, so...
So, I mean, there's grounds for it, but once again, I think it's a little contrived for grounds for it because I do think sometimes... things call for it. I mean, yeah, you can't decide to, like, you know, I guess for Barry's, you know, like some people are saying in the chat, like there's a difference between, I definitely do not want him to become Oliver.
Yeah, no.
But like it's, I mean, he's, you know, Flash is a better superhero, but I just think in certain cases, it just seems hard to, like, DeVoe is doing all of this.
Yeah.
How would you be able to lock a person like this away?
That's what I'm saying. And
you know what I mean? Like, there comes the point where you got to make a decision that it's either his existence or the non-existence of everybody else.
Yeah, and because, like, of how Barry works, you know, he kind of has the weight of the world on his shoulders constantly. I feel like he's going to feel responsible for Ralph's death. So you're going to feel responsible for somebody's death. Why not make it the person who it's going to be a little less hard to bear, you know?
Yeah, but then in turn, like, he'd be killing Ralph all over again, and he'd actually be using his own hands to do that. Yeah,
that might be a thing. Maybe DeVoe might turn into Ralph's face at the end or something like that, and like he still has to do it. I'm not gonna say I'm team kill DeVoe or whatever for like Barry to be like we have to kill him. I'm for more so there being no choice. Like, I hope that the writers have it so that there's no choice, that maybe Barry's hand is forced, so he can kind of. So he can do what he has to do, because it seems weird to me that they would make it so that DeVoe can survive this, but also he can be able to say, well, it was self-defense sort of a thing. Because I know he can't go down that dark path, but...
Oh, but he does. Like, even in, like, because the Godspeed thing was a self-defense, and he, like, he was torn up from that.
Yeah.
Because he thought he, like, broke his neck or something.
I feel like I wouldn't be a good superhero, because I don't know if I'd be completely torn up.
I get irritated very easily. I'm easily like. No.
So would you kill DeVoe?
Probably. I feel like.
Zach.
No, I don't think I would.
Okay, Boy Scout.
Right.
All right, look at it this way though. How about this? Like, in every attempt to, like, when they thought they could take down DeVoe, the possibility of killing him was definitely there. DeVoe was pushing them to get to those points, but, like, DeVoe even had a plan just for that. Like, it wasn't ever going to happen. Like, I don't think DeVoe dying is a possibility because of how smart he is.
So what's the possibility then?
Someone in the chat said stripping of powers.
Which I do have, that kind of plays into my predictions, but I want to make sure we have enough time for news and gossip first. So, Chauncey.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Take it away.
okay. There's been some news and gossip. Well, The Flash, as we have been talking about with the whole question of that mysterious young woman who we all think is Dawn, coming around. And the question is, will the identity of the mystery girl who we saw some episodes back be revealed, who's also at West Allen's wedding? Well, according to TV Guide, the reveal of who Kennedy is playing will be a season-ending storyline. So it looks like we're going to probably find out.
The house theory, I'm just calling it.
Okay, yeah, this house is being... you know, yeah, so that may be a thing, and maybe that goes into season 5. And then Carlos Valdez, our Cisco, told Entertainment Weekly, "It took me a while to figure it out, but enough of my coworkers talked, and now I know the secret of who she is and what her role is in the story. And it's lovely, it really is. It's cute. I'm excited about it." So it sounds, I mean, he said cute, so it might be kind of lighthearted. Maybe not as intense as we all are thinking. Maybe she won't be the one to bring down DeVoe, who knows. Also, in other news, Grant Gustin, who's currently starring in the new movie Crystal that's coming out, was on the Conan O'Brien show recently, and he revealed some movie, or I guess TV magic, that he doesn't actually run on The Flash anymore. As in, Grant told Conan O'Brien he used to run on a treadmill for super speed scenes back in season 1. Eventually, though, everyone involved came to the realization that his legs were rarely in those shots, so there was no real reason for him to be running. So it's all movie magic with all that speed, guys.
I'm all about not having to work out if I don't have to.
Exactly.
So I support that movement.
Makes it easy for him.
And dispelling one of the rumors that was going around, Tom Welling, Superman himself of Smallville, now Kane on Lucifer on Fox, denies the rumors that there will be a Flash cameo. So we won't be seeing Tom Welling on The Flash anytime soon. According to the veteran DC TV actor, he told Sci-Fi Wire in a new interview that reports that such a thing was in the possibly happening were greatly exaggerated. Welling says he was misquoted and that he was merely having some fun speculating.
I would love to see the Lex Luthor from that come onto the show.
Yeah, that'd be...
Because he voiced the Flash, Wally West Flash on the cartoon.
Yeah. He also has an awesome podcast these days, the actor.
Very cool.
Right on. All right, you guys. Oh,
Speaking
of things,
things that you want to have fun with, right?
Yeah,
right? Guys,
awesome podcast.
You want to have fun, learn, and grow in all areas of your life? For those who do, have we got a podcast for you? Conversations with Maria Menounos, podcast edition. It is hosted by our AfterBuzz TV host founder and drops every Friday on iTunes. Conversations with Maria Menounos features celebrity and influencer interviews, along with secrets and tips on how to be better in all aspects of life. It goes from health and wellness to career, relationships, finances, and more. Let our Maria be the big sister that you've always wanted. Just go to iTunes and subscribe Conversations with Maria Menounos for free. Be sure to rate and comment, and when you do, let Maria know it was us who sent you there. Conversations with Maria Menounos, podcast edition. Check it out.
woo! She really does have a dope podcast. For real, though. I feel like it touches on everything.
Yeah.
Like, she's just a woman who's knows a lot of things about
Done it all.
a lot of things.
Renaissance lady.
Yes, exactly.
I like it.
Shall we get into predictions?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And now,
Gotta hold the speed force.
Speed force. Who wants to go first?
Oh, I guess it's coming to me because it's always going.
You want to put it on your chest?
Flash right there. Everyone see that? Cool. Predictions. So we got a reference of the bus driver today. And I don't think we've ever talked about him.
Oh, no.
And is he a meta or not?
Oh.
So maybe there's 13 instead of 12, right? We don't know. So I think maybe next week we saw some guy going green. They're doing the nuke thing again. Didn't we just have that 2 episodes ago?
Yeah. I just had an idea.
You have a great prediction? Cool. Well,
but you're right. We did have like a weird nuke episode like 2 episodes ago, so it's interesting. I'm not
Maybe
mad.
it's coming back.
Yeah, I'm not mad at who they're bringing in though. I was very
Captain
I was
Cold.
very excited.
I like him.
Same seas.
I love him.
He's really cool.
He's awesome.
So I don't know. Yeah, we're gonna have a nuke. Barry's gonna try and save it and stop it, and I don't know. Maybe Wally West will come in, help him out.
Yeah, I don't see that
No,
happening.
I know. I don't really have much. I don't really know what else is gonna happen anymore. They have done it all. So many people have died.
Yeah.
How many episodes do we have left?
4. I think?
4. So we're not gonna see some dying for a little while, I think.
No, I
At
think
least of
this
the
was
main
the
characters.
penultimate type
Yeah.
thing. Done with yours?
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I don't really have much. To
I feel you. It is it's hard to
There's
like
so much
predict
that
the
went
future.
on. There's so much that went on in this episode. It's just like, where do you go from here?
Chauncey.
Where do you go from here?
Where do we go? Okay, that was a Buffy reference. I'm sorry. Buffy the musical. Well, I think I don't have the Speed Force with me at the moment, so I will read it.
Zach lost it.
Zach lost the Speed Force.
Yeah, it's on the
I
back.
think thank you. Oh my God, I now know. I think Dawn's gonna come back, as I read in the gossip things, and but I don't think she's going to be the fall from DeVoe. So I don't know what will, because right now I'm feeling a great sense of hopelessness, to be honest, and I'm not sure who's gonna bring down DeVoe at this point, because I don't know what Barry can do speed wise, and I honestly don't. I don't know what's going to happen to Harry. I think he's going to go maybe evil. Maybe there'll be some great big face off with Harry, Dark Matter, Harry, and DeVoe somehow. Yeah. I mean, I think the question is there anything that DeVoe hasn't thought of? And maybe that might be Ralph's comeback somehow. Maybe there was something he thought of somehow, his spontaneity that DeVoe did not think about.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Marlise. I still do hold on to the fact that it might be Marlise that's going to play into this.
Too.
Because they did kind of drop it this episode about her not remembering anything or whatever. So I think that's going to come back around.
Yeah.
Can I say something really quick?
Yes.
So check this out. Every character I think who died did it like it was all forced upon them, and they fought it. And Barry said, "Ralph, fight it," and blah blah blah. Like, you already helped me, whatever. And he kind of like let it happen. So maybe by letting it happen, he was able to like go inside and still have a mind of his own inside of DeVoe, and he could take him down from inside out.
Okay.
Is that a cool prediction? Or
I
no?
dig it. It kind of.
Yeah.
I feel like
Is
it
that-
might.
is
play,
that a thing that could happen?
It plays a little bit into my prediction. Okay,
I'm
so
in
I
your
think
head.
I've been trying to figure out what the point of Cecile's mind reading is.
Yeah.
And I also was thinking about she hasn't been around DeVoe at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that maybe somehow Cecile and DeVoe are going to end up in the same room or same like space, or because we've seen that she can read people's mind from pretty far away. I think she's going to hear all of those metas in his head.
Maybe.
And so maybe they're going to be like, wait, they're still there. Somehow, like, they can be, like, taken.
Yeah, because we don't have any other telekinetic people on the show.
Yeah, so
besides
maybe,
that one other, what's his face?
Dominic,
yeah.
Yeah, so maybe there is a possibility to strip him of his powers, but it's actually because we're going to be able to save all of these metas and be able to, like...
Oh, I hope they didn't burn them bodies then.
I don't think they did. I think they're...
They better not have.
I think they're probably somewhere, like... you know, in a freezer or something. But yeah, so I don't really know how they're going to bring it down, but I think maybe that's what the point of Cecile's...
No, that's a good one. I didn't even think of that. That makes a lot of sense. Maybe she'd be able to read DeVoe or something, or sense that there's other minds in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed that, you know, we can get Killer Frost back and Ralph and Jinx and the whole gang.
And that Harry comes back from the brink of his addiction.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen to Harry. We can't lose another Harry. I think
can't.
we've lost a Harry every single season.
This cannot be like an ongoing joke where it's just like we lose Harry.
But he's our original.
No,
well,
he's
he's not
not.
really our original. But he's the one we like the most. Like he's like sort of our original.
Yeah.
Was the real original was like evil or like not real.
You know what though? They kind of can kill him off this season because technically with Flashpoint when he ran back, shouldn't the original Harry still be alive? Because what's his face never got to go and the whole timeline.
Yeah, all
back.
that came back.
Yeah.
I do. Okay,
Never
so
mind.
They will not kill Harry. They better not.
I did go to Fan Expo Dallas 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
and I did see Tom Cavanagh there.
Well, who
and
looks probably awesome.
He was, and
He's
we didn't
hilarious. I
get to
love
do
him.
a full interview with him. But I did ask as he was walking by. I said, "Is Harry good?" And he laughed and just kind of shrugged and walked away. And I was like,
no.
I don't know.
Well, I don't think we'll lose
mastermind
Tom
evil
Cavanagh.
genius thing.
I don't see him going. I don't see him going anywhere.
Yeah.
But
Right.
man, how many Harrys can we go through at this point?
know.
Especially this one, he has so much emotional
we
connection.
could go through, how many have we lost? 3 so far? We could go through 49 more,
Facts.
No.
if my math is right.
I don't know. It's just, I'm tired of losing Harry.
Hopelessness. A sense of hopelessness.
Facts.
I need some galvanizing.
Mary, maybe Harry becomes a bad guy, and then next season's like the season of the Harrys, and they just have to keep plucking all these Harrys from all these.
DeVoe's just giving me Thanos feels at this point.
Very
where it's
much
like,
so.
there's no way my peoples are going to be able to beat this guy.
Goodness
Well, we do know.
gracious. I'm getting real sad.
Yeah.
Getting real sad.
Wow.
Well, I guess
On that note,
we will have to wait to see until next week. Until then, where can the people find you guys?
We're going with me. Hey guys, my name is Zach Silverman. You can find me all across social media at Zach with the CH Silverman 2.
and y'all can find me at Miss Chauncey KR on Twitter, and also on my show, The Bloody Breakdown, where I recently reviewed Ghost Story. So that's still up. Check it out.
And you can follow me on all the things at OKDrewJ. And make sure to catch tomorrow night. We're doing the season finale of Black Lightning. We have a pretty cool guest coming on the show. So if you liked who we had last week, you'll definitely like who we have this week. So make sure to tune in. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz
See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.